Hey, I'm back with another one of these videos where I'm talking about my music collection. Um, Today, I am talking about the Beatles. And I'm sure you guys know who they are. I should hope you do. Most famous rock and roll group of all time. I don't have a lot of Beatles CDs, and I'll be honest, I didn't really grow up listening to the Beatles that much. I mean, I heard their classic hits on the radio, and I'd see video on TV and stuff. But my parents didn't own any Beatles albums. It was mostly on the radio that I would hear them, and I I don't know. I took to Elvis before I took to the Beatles, and then like the Beatles were actually much later. I liked the Stones better. I don't know. They just seemed cooler somehow. I think it was the suits, the uniform suits, and how they all looked the same. I kind of thought I associated suits with businessmen, and I didn't really think of that as being rock and roll. But anyway, I opened my mind over the years and began to appreciate the Beatles for my own reasons, and I started to dig into more and more of their music. I think currently my favorite era of the Beatles would be around the time that they did Help. You know, I like some of the songs that were coming out around that time. It's hard to pick a favorite phase, though, of the Beatles, or even pick a favorite Beatle. You know, sometimes I really like John Lennon's songwriting, and sometimes I like Paul's style. Paul was initially my favorite, but over the years, it's like I've come to appreciate all of them for what they do and who they are. Anyway, I'll go through the collection here. I have Rubber Soul. I bought that one because I wanted to use the song In My Life for a video tribute for my grandmother's 80th birthday. Um, I don't know where that is anymore or if I even finished it, but that was the reason I bought this CD. I, I, I do love this album though. It has like, just such a great sound to it. I associate it with acoustic guitars. I just love the idea of like how the picture of them on the cover with the woods behind them. It just kind of makes me want to get a group of people together that look like me and go out in the woods somewhere and record an acoustic album. It's not all acoustic, but you know. Anyway, there's great songs on here. You know, Drive My Car. You probably know all of these. Think for Yourself is really good. That's uh, one of George Harrison's compositions. Um, I Run for Your Life is kind of a dark tune. It's like a guy who's threatening his woman for cheating on him. Anyway, that's Rubber Soul. This one with the Paul is dead theories. This one they explained that this is the four guys standing over Paul's grave, and this guy is Billy Shears, the stand-in for Paul, and that's uh, that's a hint that Paul's dead. And then I have Beatles number one. I think this was given to me as a Christmas present, if I remember correctly. I think an ex-girlfriend of mine gave me this as a Christmas present. Um, and then these ones actually are my wife's CDs. I didn't own these. The red album and the blue album. The best of the early years where they were mop tops, and then best of the later years when you can see their individuality coming out. This had more of the psychedelic kind of tunes like Strawberry Fields Forever, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Magical Mystery Tour. Um, what other ones were kind of trippy? Across the Universe was tribute, not musically, but just the whole vibe of it and what he was singing about. Um, but I find this one was mostly Lennon and McCartney compositions. Uh, it's short songs, perfect for the radio, about 2.5 minutes long if you were lucky, and kind of like the beginning point for what later became punk rock. But this one, you can see them experimenting more and their personalities start coming out and they started looking different. They didn't look like they were in the same group anymore. In some, well, this picture they do, but when you see them walking across Abbey Road or the cover for Hey Jude, that compilation that came out later, they look like four totally different guys. So while some people can blame Paul's ego or Yoko Ono or whatever they want to blame the split up of the Beatles, I think it was inevitable that they wanted to work on their own stuff. George being held back from sharing more songs. Eventually, any group starts to outgrow each other, and when something is that huge, the public will never let it go. So that's my 2 cents on the Beatles. I'm gonna get back to the Beatles when we get to the vinyl. I was gonna dig out the Beatles section because we have more on vinyl than we do on CD. There is a CD missing though. Hard Day's Night soundtrack. I picked that up years ago. I think it was on sale. I picked it up, and it's in my wife's van right now. So we have that one as well. Anyway, I'll get to the rest of the Beatles collection when I get to the vinyl. That's the end. Goodbye.